The City of Angels, just northwest of our host city of Anaheim, California, is where we find tonight's Monster Jam action. The stars are out as 14 of the biggest superstars in Monster Jam vie for the overall event championship. Welcome to Stadium Championship Series Red. I'm Scott Jordan, alongside Zombies Bari Moosauer, coming to you from Angel Stadium in beautiful Anaheim, California. We've got Taylor Mock and Keith Jones on the ground. And tonight our drivers compete head-to-head in 3 competitions: racing, the Great Clip Skills Challenge, and of course freestyle. The winner of each competition is awarded a total of 14 points, with the top point winner being crowned as tonight's overall event champion. It'll be exciting to see what these drivers have in store for this incredible crowd in Anaheim. Bari, let's take a look at tonight's competitors. Looking at the driver lineup, who stands out to you?
Man, Scott, you know, this lineup is stacked, full of talent, but I think Adam Anderson in the Gravedigger is going to have a good night. I'm looking for big things from him here in Anaheim. I can't wait to see the action.
For a preview of the Stadium Championship Series Red track, let's join Track Talk with Leslie Mears.
New for 2020, each stadium will feature a unique racing course. Well, Stadium Championship Series Red probably has the most familiar track in all of Monster Jam. So you start at the starting line, hit the ramp, go down the straightaway, and make that signature J hook. It's very critical that they are fast in their lane, because the fastest time of the night gets lane choice. All Monster Jam drivers tell me that they feel comfortable turning right, so look for the heavy favorites to be in the right lane and put their opposition in the left.
Thank you, Leslie. We'll talk about the track here in just a second. First, let's take a look at the brackets in round 1. Overkill Evolution, Avenger, Overboard, Lucas Oil Crusader, Hooked, Monster Mutt Rottweiler on that left side. But the first round by Monster Energy and Dragon awaiting in round number 2. Bari, if you were racing here tonight, looking at the track elements, which lane would you start off in?
You know, we just heard from Leslie Mears, and I've got kind of a different theory than what she spoke of. Historically, the left lane has always been the favorite lane, as far as I've known, to be able to get a good win out of.
Our first round 1 matchup, 2 former World Finals champions. It's Overkill Evolution and Avenger side by side down that starting line.
And Avenger's got a good turn around that right turn. Maybe I was wrong, but you know what? We'll see what happens in that final approach to the finish line.
In the final turn, look how tight Jim Kohler and Avenger is, barely clipping over them. Jim Kohler and Avenger, what a statement win for him in round 1 of racing, 18.60 for Avenger. We now move to second matchup. It's Lindsey Wink, Lucas Oil Crusader against Jamie Gardner in Overboard. We go green, and again, a close start off the line.
Yeah, both trucks are very even. Lindsey's kind of wide, though, in his turn. Let's see if he can make that up in the straightaway to charge hard towards the finish line.
Overboard taking advantage. He made it all the way back to the containers, but Lucas Oil caught some ground, and across the finish line, what a push by Lucas Oil Crusader, but it is Jamie Gardner in Overboard taking the win, 18.328. Ryan Wright in Hooked, Brad Allen in Monster Mutt Rottweiler, 2 competitors that know each other very well. And we are ready for our third round 1 matchup. It went green, and Brad Allen just sat there, Bari.
Wow, Hooked has a major advantage. Let's see if he can maintain that all the way through to get the victory out of that left lane.
And Brian Wright cannot get out of his own way. Monster Mutt Rottweiler deep around that final turn. He's got to make up for some ground. What a finish for Monster Mutt Rottweiler. That final push gets Brad Allen across the finish line.
Wow, he committed, and I mean, it showed in the way that truck landed. He was all kind of crossed up. He's on to the next round.
Half of our round 1 bracket is in the books. Monster Energy will now meet Avenger. Overboard, Monster Mutt Rottweiler will meet in round 2. Dragon awaits the winner of our next matchup. Who you like to see in the second half of round 1?
Oh, I'm going with El Toro Loco versus Great Clips Mohawk Warrior.
Stone Crusher and Black Pearl again even off the starting line as they move around the first turn. Steve Sims slowing down in Stone Crusher. What's going on there?
Yeah, he jumped out a little too far in that first jump, and it surprised him, I think so.
Colvinard Black Pearl taking advantage of this as he gets around the final turn, sideways across the finish line, but that is not going to matter. Black Pearl advancing to round 2. He will meet John Zimmer in Dragon. Here's that matchup you talked about. Bryce Kenny, Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, Becky McDonough, El Toro Loco. We know Bryce Kenny's an accomplished drag racer. He's great down the straightaways. How can he do these turns?
Oh, man, it looks like it's picture perfect from what I see so far. What do you think?
El Toro Loco has some work to make up here in this round one matchup. Around the turns they go, and Becky McDonough, what a save. She lost it, recovers, but barring that's not going to matter. No points awarded. This isn't freestyle. The fastest time of the night goes to Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. What happened with El Toro Loco?
Wow, yeah, that was a picture-perfect pass from Bryce. But looking at Becky, she's in a little hot to the turn, and she hit the throttle and then engaged the front locker, which allowed that truck to pull right on out.
Our final round one matchup, five-time World Finals champion Adam Anderson and Gravedigger against Darren Basil and Black Stallion, and Gravedigger already with an advantage.
Yeah, he had a plush landing on that exit of the first jump. He's a little sideways, though, coming off the first turn. Let's see what he can do around this last one. It's still a little tight.
Adam Anderson so accomplished in his career in Monster Jam, making good work of Black Stallion here. And the end of the race, it is Gravedigger crossing the finish line. He will advance to round two. Take a look at those times. Gravedigger a little slower than what we're used to seeing from Adam Anderson.
Yeah, I think Adam's got a little work to do, but I think he'll get better as the night goes on.
The bracket is set for round two. Monster Energy against Avenger. Overboard meets Monster Mutt Rottweiler. Dragon against Black Pearl, and Great Clips Mohawk Warrior against Gravedigger. Will the roll continue for Bryce Kenny? Now with round one of racing in the books, we have some big air coming up. Freestyle is next. It's now time for some freestyle action. Let's take a look at how the event is scored. Now each of our driver athletes will attempt a freestyle run filled with big air, non-stop action, flow, momentum, and those special wow moments, pushing their Monster Jam trucks to their limits. Each driver is awarded a score by you, the audience. That's right, those in attendance at our Monster Jam events provide each driver a score immediately following their run. Fans judge our drivers based on the use of all track obstacles, creativity, technical moves, combinations, and wow factor. However, to qualify for a score, drivers must complete the first 30 seconds of their run, and Barry, we know how difficult that can be in freestyle.
That's absolutely right, Scott. There's going to be a lot of strategic driving to get through that first 30 seconds, and then you can let it all hang out.
First up in freestyle is 14-time World Finals competitor Lindsey Wink in Lucas Oil Crusader. The kid out of Saskatchewan began his Monster Jam career right here in California some 20 years ago, a place he now calls home, residing in Denair with his family.
My name is Lindsey Wink, driver of the Lucas Oil Crusader. I've been driving since 2000. I believe every show is like a building block and is critical to your next event, and keeping up with the young competition now is extremely important. So staying focused, staying on top of your game, and making sure these youngsters don't beat you down. My driving style is usually pretty controlled, but there's times out there when winning is so important. I've probably crashed more in the last couple years trying to advance myself to the next round, and thank God for quality crewmen that can get my truck back going again for the next round, because without them, I couldn't have done it. So big efforts and just try and battle through the brackets and make sure I get the Lucas Oil truck on top.
One thing that stands out to me about Lindsey Wink is 14 World Finals appearances. Bar, you know how tough it is to make it into the World Finals field once. Talk about how Lindsey Wink can do it 14 times at the top of his game.
Lindsey is just that constant threat. He's always consistent. He's always in the conversation to be one of the top contenders. You know, I learned that when we were on tour back in 2015. We actually became buddies. We were teamed up in the same trailer touring the world. And to be able to see him still rocking the house at a high level now is just awesome.
Lindsey Wink has called his freestyle ability, his freestyle style, whatever you want to call it. He says it is very smooth with spikes of craziness and one shot of a truck damaging move. So as far as this run goes, what are we looking for from Lindsey Wink, which is a one shot of a truck damaging move?
Well, that was a great save. Now that you talk about a great truck damaging move, I would say he's going to come out and pull some big air out of his hat eventually sometime during this run.
He is very calculated. You can see that in his run right now. He is hitting everything in front of him, but it's methodical. It is timed out, and he is going to give you that big air, that wow factor as he comes off the race ramp with a nice slap wheelie. Even small moves like that make a huge difference in filling the entire 2-minute clock. And he's coming up to the backflip ramp, slowing it down, slow and concise, and he cannot land it, can't even get on the tire to save that. But look at the score. The audience loved it.
Oh man, anytime you can put a backflip in front of the audience's eyes first, you've got a good chance of getting a great score.
And it's going to be tough to follow that, but the guy that needs to do it right now, Darren Basil in Black Stallion. So when you have a driver in front of you that hits the backflip ramp, whether he lands it or not, how do you come out and try to get the audience in your favor?
That's a tough act to follow. You're going to have to, at some point, probably try to attempt that backflip as well. And who knows, you're going to have to get some kind of save or a wow factor, something that you did not plan in order to get the fans on your side.
This truck, Black Stallion, owned by Mike Vauders, Sr., a legend in Monster Jam and motorsports in general, so teammates with Mike Vauders II in Overkill Evolution. We haven't seen a lot of Darren Basil in these big stadiums, so when you come out here as somebody that's used to smaller tracks, how do you adapt to a big freestyle layout like this one in Anaheim?
Well, Darren's been around Monster Jam for a long time. He's a wily veteran. He knows exactly what to do behind the wheel of the Black Stallion Monster Jam truck. I just can't wait to see what he pulls out of his hat.
Fun fact about Darren Basil, actually drove Gravedigger on one night, so he's a part of that lineage. As small as it may be, he's got that background, and now the smoke coming out of Black Stallion. What are you seeing going wrong here for Darren Basil in this freestyle run?
Well, he had a great sky wheelie up until that point. I'm not sure what happened. I see some smoke starting to pour out of the truck. That might be hurting him, and as he's coming to a stop here.
And he is going to be done, it appears. So the 2-minute clock not filled. The score reflects that. No wow moments, but Darren Basil did try to be consistent with some of those jumps. Steve Sims in Stone Crusher, one of my favorite stories in Monster Jam, got started because he was at a birthday party. And can't even finish that story because we have a broken axle. Talk about that landing for Steve Sims in Stone Crusher.
Oh, that was catastrophic damage. I know Steve Sims is not happy about that. He does not want to end his freestyle run like that.
Steve Sims didn't get 30 seconds in that run. He is disqualified, and we move on to the 2015 World Finals Freestyle Champion, Mike Vauders II. Gets a little sideways, saves it, but Bari, he is a world champion. So when you see a freestyle run from Overkill Evolution, as a fan, you got to understand you're capable of seeing a World Finals Championship caliber run every time he's out on the track.
Yeah, definitely. Mike has got that championship pedigree. I mean, he moves effortlessly from move to move on the track. He makes it look seamless. And you never know what he's going to do, but you know you're in for a treat whenever Mike Vauders II hits the track.
Hitting that big ramp coming down the other side. A little bit of a slow start for Overkill Evolution, but it's methodical, so when you time things out, you can hit that 30-second mark as we've talked about. Now a new rule to make this sport even more competitive. A small slap wheelie there for Overkill Evolution. Now basically hitting everything he sees in front of him.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you can tell he doesn't plan out his runs, I don't believe. I think he's just out there freestyling. That's really what the spirit of this competition is all about.
We have seen a lot from Mike Vauders II in his career. Of course, his dad, Mike Vauders Sr., it's in his genes. They've got a great shop in Hagerstown, Maryland, a historic town for Monster Jam. Some smoke coming out, a big sky wheelie, and now landing on the bus. In 2014, Bari, he won the showdown and then followed that up with the World Finals Freestyle Championship. Lindsey Reed did it in the same year, but prior to that, Mike Vauders had his name in the history books as we see a stoppie from Overkill Evolution.
And Mike is really good at doing those stoppies and the moonwalks, especially in the skills challenge. I can't wait to see what he has in store for that competition.
Leslie talked about the track for Stadium Championship Series Red when it comes to racing, but freestyle, a similar setup exclusive here to this Red Series. So these drivers seeing this track, maybe they're not used to seeing it before in their career. They will get used to it as 2020 progresses. More sky coming from Overkill Evolution.
And that was an abrupt hit. I don't know what was worse, the entry to that jump or the landing, but he got it up in the air and the fans loved it.
Picking up speed now for Mike Vauders. There's the big air. There's a wow moment coming down. Doesn't quite clear the ramp, but still got enough air. That's the biggest jump of his run, and he's starting to slow down a little bit. The problem's now mounting up for Mike Vauders II in Overkill Evolution.
Oh, man, there you see Marty Garza, true pioneer of monster trucks and Monster Jam. He's still happy with the run.
Brian Wright in Hooked out of Grandie, North Carolina. That's right there in Currituck, which is a hotbed for Monster Jam history, the home of Digger's Dungeon, and all that history that comes with monster trucks in general. Brian Wright right there as a part of that movement, a part of that area, now bringing his talents with Steve Sims and Stone Crusher and that entire team.
Yeah, I love the look of this Hook truck, and Brian Wright is a great driver behind the wheel. You never know what Brian's got in store. Oh, that was an oh no.
And he is going to try to save this off the one tire, could not get the traction, and he's going to end up on the side, but a great effort. And now 5 of our 14 drivers have completed their freestyle runs. So let's take a look at the BKT Freestyle Top 5. Lindsey Wink got us started, attempted the backflip, didn't land it, Bari, didn't matter. He's still our leader.
Yeah, Lindsey Wink is showing the way right now, but we got a lot more freestyle to go.
After an exciting round 1 of Monster Jam Racing, we are down to 8. And here are the matchups for round 2. And first up, an exciting matchup between two-time World Finals champions. It's going to be Jim Kohler in Avenger and Todd LeDuc in Monster Energy. Todd sat the first round out, had a first round bye. You think there's going to be any rust on Todd LeDuc in Monster Energy?
No, not one bit. Todd is here to play the game, and I can't wait to see what he's got.
Off the line, down the race ramp, advantage going to Monster Energy. Around the first turn, Monster Energy a slight lead over Avenger.
Yeah, he's approaching that finish line with a commanding lead now. All he's got to do is finish that turnout, and across the finish line he goes.
And no rush for Todd LeDuc. He's a guy that doesn't like to get the first round bye, but taking advantage of it here as he will now move on to round 3, our semifinals, with the fastest time of the night. Our second matchup, Monster Mutt Rottweiler against Overboard. Look at the advantage for Jamie Garner in Overboard.
Jamie Garner's been smooth all night long, and he might be somebody to watch as the night progresses.
Another great push across that second straightaway, gets a nice turn. Monster Mutt spinning out a little bit, and Overboard getting the win, moving on to the semifinals with a tough matchup against Todd LeDuc and Monster Energy, but the times continuing to get faster for all of our drivers in round 2. Now Colvinard and Black Pearl against John Zimmer and Dragon coming off that first round bye. They are dead even going into that first turn.
This is going to be a great matchup. I can't wait to see the finish line action. Both of these drivers are dialed in, former Gravedigger drivers. Let's see what happens.
Colvinard, Black Pearl, the second turn, the difference. He will get over the finish line first. And another time in the 17s, we weren't seeing that at all in round 1. We're seeing it now in every matchup. This is the one I'm excited about. Gravedigger against Mohawk Warrior. Bryce Kenny has had no luck in his career against Adam Anderson.
Yeah, these two have had such a storied rivalry, and it looks like Bryce has a slight edge.
And the final turn is where it's going to go down. Look at Great Clip's Mohawk Warrior. That is a photo finish. Both of them going to end up on the hood. That is the competitive fire. And look at Bryce Kenny, Great Clip's Mohawk Warrior. There is no Anaheim curse talk about this finish.
Man, that was textbook, except for the landing. Bryce got the win, but I don't know. It looks like that truck might be hurt.
We are down now to our fastest 4. Let's take a look at the bracket after 2 rounds of racing. Monster Energy and Overboard. Maybe the surprise of the night, Bari, is Jamie Gardner and Overboard, and then Black Pearl and Mohawk Warrior. And there is a sight to see. Great Clip's Mohawk Warrior being taken off the track. And there's no pits here, Bari. If you got to go to the back, you're going to be up against the clock in Anaheim.
Yeah, I know Bryce is not looking forward to that. You know, hopefully they can get it fixed. Right now we got a big Rottweiler on the track, Brad Allen. Let's see what he's got to bring for these fans here in Anaheim.
Brad Allen, Monster Mutt Rottweiler, a part of the famed Team Scream team. Such great drivers, Jim Kohler, Avenger, Corey Rummel, and Megalodon, all a part of Team Scream. And he's out of Detroit, Michigan, which has been a racing hotbed for that team. And Brad Allen is a guy who any given night, I've talked about this before, he can flat out beat you in racing and freestyle as he gets the sky wheelie, then climbs his way out. A nice save for Brad Allen.
Brad is definitely not one to shy away from a big moment. I can't wait to see what he's got. Oh, this is huge air on the step up. Great landing, but it looks like he blew out a tire coming down off that landing. That's going to hinder him a little bit, I think.
And he's slowing down. He's going to give it everything he's got. You've driven on 3 tires. How tough is it to get the momentum to keep these jumps going?
It is really tough, but you know, once your adrenaline starts pumping, and, you know, it just becomes second nature, and you just hit whatever is in front of you and hope for the best.
Now he is now cross-threading. That's kind of what you go to when you get a bit of a disability on your tires. He's got 3, so he can't hit the ramp straight. He's got to cross-thread a little bit to get an extra advantage, and he is still going through it. Now it becomes a factor. Is how much of this track can he actually get to on 3 tires. Now it's in the front, so the rear steering is going to be a factor, but he's got it. Is he going to attempt the backflip on 3 tires? He is, and he cannot get the momentum. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, the trench box commands momentum at the right time, and man, that was a gutsy move. It's something he knew he had to do, just didn't land it.
Now he is in second place, so 2 failed backflips as John Zimmer and Dragon wasting no time getting off the step of some big air. So 2 failed backflips, Barry. 1 and 2 in our BKT Freestyle top 5. What if somebody actually lands a backflip tonight as John Zimmer gets a nice save and another nice save, and he's going to do it 3 times in a row, but his luck will run out on the 4th save attempt. What a run of saves for John Zimmer and Dragon.
Man, I was just thinking he had the fans in the palm of his hand, but he wasn't past the 30-second mark, so that run just doesn't count.
Becky McDonough, El Toro Locos, we see the smoke, one of the more popular trucks in Monster Jam. We saw the incredible save she had in racing in round 1 against Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, but the truck obviously sustaining some damage. So how will that affect her freestyle run?
I think it's going to be great for her. She can probably see a lot better. Becky's definitely a wild card. You never know what she's going to do out on the track. That's definitely what makes freestyle just that much more enjoyable when she hits the track.
Are you a little jealous of how well she can see? You got those 2 zombie arms just flailing all the time in front of you.
Yeah, you know what? We're so zoned in and so dialed in, we don't even focus on seeing those zombie arms wave. Right now, though, let's see those horns in the air. That's what I really want to see.
A great shot of the trucks lined up at the rock wall in the outfield here. I have a love affair with this stadium, Boy, one of my favorites in Monster Jam, but it poses challenges to the driver in there's no pit area, so if you get damage, you have to either fix it inside the stadium. If you can't, you go all the way out to the parking lot. We talked about the damage she invoked with Bryce Kenny in that matchup. He went on to have damage against Gravedigger in the next round, so now he's on the clock all the way out in the parking lot.
Yeah, you definitely have to really be consistent, and part of rolling the dice, you know, consistency can kind of go out the window when that happens. But Becky's keeping up great momentum during this run. Let's see what she's lining up for next.
She's been around this sport since 2010, a student of Medusa, a very accomplished former Monster Jam driver. And last year, 2019, she competed on 5 continents. You know all about that. How difficult is it to compete not only in a foreign country, but a different continent?
Man, when there's one thing to know about Monster Jam is it's universal. I mean, people love this all over the world. No matter where you live, the roar of those engines brings us all together.
And she is lining up now for the backflip. Here she comes across the ramp, the Monster Energy backflip. She lands it, she bounces it, the first completed backflip of the night. Now it's all up to the fans. Will they score it over the 2 failed backflip attempts?
I think just because she was able to land it, drive away, and keep on rocking the house, now adrenaline is really pumping for her, so you never know what's going to happen.
And what do you do after the backflip ramp, Becky? How about you sky El Toro Loco across the air, and she cannot save it, so the luck runs out. But that's all right. They could look at the BKT Freestyle Top 5 Barry Musauer. We have a new freestyle leader, El Toro Loco.
Yes, indeed.
Our racing semifinals, Tyler Duke, Monster Energy, Jamie Garner in Overboard. Jamie Garner will be surprised to get this far. He's got a slight advantage over the 2-time World Finals champion.
Yeah, great hole shot by Jamie. I think he's in his zone. He's in that left lane. He's been there all night. So it's going to be tough for Todd to keep up, I think.
Tyler Duke won a Racing World Finals championship, but that means nothing tonight as Jamie Garner in Overboard getting the win. That has got to be the upset of the night. As we get into our last semifinal matchup, there has been a resurrection for Gravedigger. Now, Great Clips Mohawk Warrior could not make it back, so Adam Anderson gets another shot. And now we see if Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl, his former crew chief, can get past the black and green wrecking machine. As they pull to the line here, our final semifinal matchup, it's teacher versus student. Barry, who are you predicting will end up in the finals against Overboard?
You know, these two are great competitors. I think that Cole might have a slight edge. We'll see what happens then.
Gravedigger off the line, but gets some air that's not going to help as Black Pearl now slow around the turn. He's got to make up some room here on this second straightaway. The final turn we go in our semifinal matchup. Gravedigger with a slight advantage, but look at that. The Black Pearl pushing across the finish line, and in the end, it is student beating the teacher, and that sets up our final match. Overboard versus the Black Pearl. It's Jamie Garner looking for his first stadium racing win. He's going to have to get past his teammate, Cole Vennard.
Yeah, I think Jamie looked great so far in that left lane all night long. He had a great victory over Todd LeDuc. in the semifinals. Let's see what he's got for Cole.
Either way this ends, all of Team Overboard Motorsports going to be incredibly happy tonight. Will it be Jamie Garner? Will it be Cole Vennard again? This is the turn that Cole Vennard seems to have a little problem with drifting around. The final straightaway they come, and here into the final turn for our racing winner to be crowned. It is Overboard Jamie Garner with his first racing win of his career as his son and crew chief looks on incredibly excited.
I know Jamie Garner's got to be grinning from ear to ear to be the team owner and have both his trucks in the final round and him come out with a victory. I know he's a proud guy today.
Here are your racing point standings. Jamie Garner gets the first 14 of the night. Tom LeDuc in third with 12. Bryce Kenny rounding out the top 5. Let's join Taylor Mock with our racing winner.
Jamie, an absolute huge win for you and your team. Congratulations, man. What a kickoff to 2020.
You know, racing my teammate in the final round, taking out Todd LeDuc is huge for me. It's guys you look up to when we watch this sport. We used to be fans just like everybody in here. Dreams come true.
Congratulations. One more time, give it up for your racing winner, Jamie Garner and Overboard.
Congratulations again to Jamie on an outstanding win, but can he continue his winning tonight, or will one of our other competitors rise to the occasion as it's time for the Great Clip Skills Challenge from earlier this evening? A new rule for 2020, you can either have 2 attempts at your best trick on 2 wheels or a donut. Barry, talk about the addition to the donut, with the donut to the Great Clip Skills Challenge.
I love that they added a donut because if you can get a donut whipping that fast to end up on 2 wheels, you know you've got the crowd in your hands.
And in this competition, there were 2 competitors that were visibly absent. So what kind of pressure do you face when you miss a competition?
You really have to focus on being consistent. So when you miss a competition, that kind of throws out your chances of being an overall event champion.
Gravedigger wasn't able to get back on the track, and although Great Clip's Mohawk Warrior made an attempt, it was short-lived. Keith Jones caught up with Bryce Kenny about tonight's struggles.
Unfortunately, people give me a hard time saying I've got this Anaheim curse. And, this is like maybe the 3rd or 4th show where, just we get a bad roll, we catch a bad lip or something and just chase damage. And unfortunately, the front drive shaft let go as soon as I put some throttle on it.
Curse or not, with those 2 competitors off the track, it opened up the event for everyone else, not just for a Skills Challenge win, but the overall event championship as well.
Yeah, the Skills Challenge gives these driver athletes a chance to really, take into their own account how they're doing in their series point standings and be able to read from there where they're going to take their Skills Challenge competition.
Now Toro Loco up on the nose. It finally came down though to a racing winner, Jamie Garner, and Overboard with this incredible donut, and fan favorite Jim Kohler and Avenger, who sealed it up with this epic wheelie across the pod, and that was enough to get him the win in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. So let's take a look and see where that puts us in the standings. Avenger earns 14 points for the win. Lucas Oil Crusader, Overkill, Evolution rounding out your top 3 in the competition. But as far as overall event is concerned, it is Overboard clinging to a 1-point lead over Monster Energy, and Avenger right in the mix, 2 points behind.
Jim Kohler has put himself in contention for an overall event championship with this win.
Taylor Mock is with our winner, Jim Kohler in Avenger.
What a kickoff to 2020. Earlier you said, I need this.
Totally need it. Last year I let my fans in Anaheim down. We blew the motor up. This year we're here to rock and roll. You guys cheering, you guys scoring. Avenger's gonna rock this place. Are you guys ready for some freestyle?
The crowd is always ready for freestyle here in Anaheim, and I know a guy that's always ready for freestyle, and that's Cole Vennard.
Absolutely. Myself and Cole Vennard go way back, back when we were on Triple Threat Series together. Now he's in this Black Pearl ride. I can't wait to see what he's got in store for these Monster Jam fans here in Anaheim.
Out of Murdo, South Dakota, Cole Vennard debuted in 2015, and the crew chief for Adam Anderson got behind the wheel of Gravedigger, the legend, then Gravedigger, and now teaming with Jamie Garner, Overboard Motorsports behind the wheel of the Black Pearl. So Cole Vennard, a guy in freestyle who can win on any given night. Talk about in the NFL, Barry, any given Sunday. Well, here in Monster Jam, it's any given Saturday, and that's when Cole Vennard can rise to the top of the mountain.
Absolutely, and that's when the fans come out in great big numbers here in Anaheim to see drivers like Cole Vennard rock the house, and he's keeping up great momentum so far. The look on this Black Pearl truck is just detailed to the T. I love the flags on the back. I love the body. The wrap is just amazing, and he's doing a great job keeping up good momentum so far. I can't wait for that wow factor if he's got one in store.
You talk about wow factor for Cole Vennard. He has one of the most dynamic moves in Monster Jam. It is the walk the plank backflip. where he comes up to that trench box, gets the backflip into a stoppie and moonwalks it. It is unbelievable. And if he unleashes that move, he walks out of here with a freestyle win.
No doubt. That's such a high-profile move. You can go from hero to zero with it real quick, though. And somehow Cole has managed to master that move.
What I want to see more is for him to come out and do it in the first 30 seconds, just all in or all out as we see the big air from the Black Pearl. That is another thing he is known for. He has no fear behind the wheel. And speaking of backflips, we are getting the Monster Energy backflip ram. Here goes Cole Bernard, skies it as he gets it up, couldn't land it on the back two tires. So no walk the plank, but a successful backflip nonetheless.
Yes, and you hear the crowd roaring. That means they are on with you. They love to see a backflip. That's one of the most talked about things at the Monster Jam pit parties, and Cole just gave him a textbook.
And a move that's not talked about enough is the move after the backflip. What do you do to maintain the crowd? He just ran that up onto the ramp over the cars and the bus. Now more big air, some cross-threading for Cole Bernard. He is all in tonight in Anaheim. He wants to take this freestyle win.
Man, what a great showing for the Black Pearl team.
Here's the original super glue glued to the action replay. The big air for Cole Bernard and the Black Pearl, and then the backflip. A little too much bounce, can't walk the plank, but we'll get a second place score for freestyle. The story of the night so far has been a surprising lead by Jamie Garner in Overboard as two of the biggest competitors in this competition, Great Clips Mohawk Warrior and Gravedigger, ran into some issues and missed an entire competition, but it appears the curse could be over for Bryce Kenny and his crew as they are now able to get Great Clips Mohawk Warrior back on the track to begin his freestyle run.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that the crew was able to, get the truck fixed and make it out there for freestyle. Bryce has such a competitive spirit that, I know he loves to compete at a high level, especially for all these great fans and for Great Clips.
It's been an up and down night for Bryce Kenny Barry. He jokes about the Anaheim curse, but it's been a very real thing, but not as big of a curse as Adam Anderson and Gravedigger has been to him in racing. So he finally gets a win against Adam Anderson and cannot continue in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. So up and down, drama building, curse gone. Now, what's next for Bryce Kenny here in freestyle? How does he bounce back?
I tell people all the time, you have to have amnesia when it comes to stuff like that. You've got to go out there and be zoned in for what you're wanting to do in freestyle, and that's put down a great run, and I think he's doing it so far. Huge air right there off that jump.
Bryce Kenny has coined the term the competitive cauldron. That's where he says he lies when he's running his freestyle, just in the zone. As you mentioned, he is very calm in this. I call him a silent assassin as he sits in his truck and tries to plot this. Didn't have that opportunity tonight due to the challenges this track has given him and the night has given him, but he won the Stadium Save of the Year in freestyle for his save in Houston in 2019. Last year, Scott Phillips looking on in excitement. So Bryce Kenny trying to bounce back as he goes for the backflip, the Monster Energy backflip ramp. He gets a little overturned, but he saves it. But was there trouble with the landing?
I think he's good. I think the truck is 100% still under him. He's got the adrenaline pumping now, so he's ready to turn it up even more. It's a great testament to all the work that gentleman did, Scott Phillips, in getting that truck back on the track. As you can hear, the fans love it.
And this is how you do it in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. He continues his run. He loves that moment after the backflip. He talks about it all the time. That's his defining moment. And some more big air looking for the same, and he's not going to get it. But Barry, what a run and what a comeback for Bryce Kenny.
Yes, sir. Third place currently. That's a great run, a great score to go with it. I think he's going to be happy with that.
Bryce Kenny bounces back a bit with a third place finish in freestyle, but it was not good enough to unseat our current leader, El Toro Loco. But Barry, a guy that can unseat anybody as a current leader is this man, five-time World Finals champion, Adam Anderson in Gravedigger.
As you can see, Adam came right out the gate, announced his presence. I guarantee you he's going to attack this track with reckless abandon. As you can see there, huge air, probably the biggest of the night off that step-up jump. Who can only hope for more from Adam Anderson?
He has also had an up and down night, got some redemption in racing to come back into the bracket. Still wasn't enough to defeat Cole Bernard in the Black Pearl, missing the Great Clip Skills Challenge. Now is his chance for complete redemption tonight with more big air for Gravedigger. We know the fans are behind this Monster Jam truck. We know there's a judging system at judgeszone.com. There's a bit of a gravedigger bias if you talk to a lot of people, especially Bryce Kenny, but you don't need any bias when you get a wheelie on a freestyle track like this.
That's a textbook slap wheelie right there, and it really just gives you a chance to gain your composure, because I think Adam is driving a little bit angry. As you touched on earlier, I'm pretty sure he wasn't too happy about losing to Cole Bernard, so he's giving the fans a treat with his right foot.
And Adam Anderson does not like to hear about any sort of gravedigger favoritism. He is all about what he does on the track, and he backs it up. 5 World Finals championships, more than his dad, the legendary Dennis Anderson. 2 of them came in a freestyle mode, as now he's trying to figure out his next move. More big air for the black and green wrecking machine. What a sky wheelie, and lands it off that freestyle pod. And here we go again, pulling it back around, up over the bus, the cross-threading for Gravedigger.
And he is rolling the dice right now. He's letting it all hang out. Huge air on the account of Adam Anderson. The truck looks like it's held together. It's working great, and he's in the zone.
And when does the backflip ramp come into play for Adam Anderson? He's trying to pirouette off the ramp, and he's going to try to save it. Slowly coming down, a sidewall save, sidewinder, and he cannot land it. He was having all the luck, but could not finish it there.
Yeah, it looked like he was just waiting for the truck to come back under him, and it just a split second too late on the throttle. But what a great freestyle.
Gravedigger moves into second place as you take a look at the BKT Freestyle Top 5. Our leader remaining Becky McDonough in El Toro Loco, as it is now time for the Monster Energy Action of the Week. Barry, your favorite move, the 8-pack backflip, and this is Kayla Blood in Soldier Fortune.
Yeah, Kayla has definitely stepped up her game and nailed that 8-pack backflip, and it's just a great new move that we've brought to the arena setting.
And that's why it's the Monster Energy Action of the Week, and we are down to our final 3 competitors in freestyle. And with 3 athletes left to compete, the overall event championship is still up for grabs as we take a look at the overall event standings. Monster Energy and Avengers still have a solid chance of being tonight's overall event champion if either of them can place in the top 7 of freestyle. And while an early favorite, it doesn't look like Overboard will be able to return to the track for his freestyle run. Taylor Mock has more.
Jamie Garner, driver of Overboard. I know it's been an exciting night, kind of bittersweet. I know, unfortunately, we haven't been able to make it back to freestyle. Tell these fans just what a moment it's been for you here in Anaheim.
You know, winning here in Anaheim, winning racing, top of the world. We hurt the motor out here doing a donut. Crew guys decided it's going to be better not to run it for freestyle. We hate it for all you Monster Jam fans. We wish we could come out and burn it to the ground. We were top on points, never been top on points, never been a racing winner, so we'd love to come back, but we'll be back next year.
A tough break, but a smart move for Jamie Garner and Overboard, and now it's Todd LeDuc time in Monster Energy. He's looking for both a freestyle podium finish and the event championship. But Barry, all he needs to do here is put an 8th place finish in, and he will take over the event championship spot from Lindsey Wink and Lucas Oil Crusader. And if it's one thing we know about Todd LeDuc, is that 8th place does not seem very far-fetched.
No, not at all, but I can see Todd is going to try and play it safe right off the bat. He took 1 jump, and then he drove all the way around the stadium to 1 more jump to kind of burn some time up so that it solidifies him getting a score, surpassing that 30-second mark. So he's doing a good job of that. Let's see if he can continue.
And he's not going to settle for 8th place at all. 7th place, 6th place. He wants to win. He's a 2-time World Finals champion. Went back-to-back in 2014 and 2015. And with that racing win and the freestyle win, he's one of only 7 drivers in Monster Jam history to win both World Finals championships. So he's gotten it done in the past. But will this be his night? We know how confident he is. He uses it as a tool and a game to put other drivers in a position to lose themselves a little bit. Now he's got to play it cool and finish strong.
It's no doubt Todd is one of the most accomplished Monster Jam athletes out there right now, but it looks like he's fighting the truck, or the truck's fighting him. He's getting a little crossed up. Yeah, as you can see right here, he's going to have to back up, and it's probably going to make him a little angry behind the steering wheel of that Monster Energy Monster Jam truck. Let's see what happens next. Oh yeah, he's still kind of struggling.
Now he's revving it up a little bit. There's some big air from Todd LeDuc and Monster Energy coming down hard, and we have got a flat tire in the rear. Barry, this is not good. Even though he only needs to finish lower than usual, he might not even make that happen right now.
Yeah, at this point, Todd's going to have to make something out of nothing because that tire is not on his side right now, and he's going to reverse. Anything can happen.
Again, what do you do for 8th place here? How about you back it up over the pot? Anything you can just to get that lead, to try to take the lead away from Lucas Oil Crusader. Now look at the wheel just hanging on now as the tire flat as a pancake, and he will be shut off. That will do it for the night for Freestyle for Todd LeDuc. The original Super Glue glued to the action replay. This is the spot right there. Talk about that landing.
Yeah, he landed hard on that BKT tire in the rear, and it broke the bead, so it detached itself from the wheel. And I can tell you now, knowing Todd LeDuc, he's not very happy with that run. As you can see the dejection, he's shaking his head, Scott.
So he does what he needs to do. 7th place, takes over the lead, but he leaves a little too much room right now as we still have another competitor left. So Todd LeDuc not happy with his finish, and this leaves the door open for our final freestyle competitor, Jim Kohler, an Avenger, a living legend, and Bari, a 2-time World Finals freestyle champion.
Anytime Mr. Excitement Jim Kohler hits the track, you know he's out for a good time with the fans. He's one of the most popular Monster Jam drivers there are today, still competing, and a wily veteran he is.
And he's got every chance to win this freestyle competition and the event. He needs to finish with at least 9 points in this competition, which is a top 6 finish to win the overall event championship. He climbed to the top of the freestyle mountain in 2003 and again in 2011, cementing his future Hall of Fame status in Monster Jam.
It's just a true testament of the toughness of this Avenger Monster Jam truck. You know, Jim builds and maintains his own trucks right there in Columbus, Michigan. He's brought it all the way here to Anaheim, California to represent for those fans here that he's got all over.
And look at where he started. He has built an empire. You mentioned as we see a slap wheelie, a nice wheelie, good extension across the track, trying to find something else as he gets deep to the container. But that empire in Columbus, Michigan with Team Scream Racing, now just one of the more dominant independent teams in Monster Jam and in the monster truck sport to begin with, period.
Absolutely, and he's not taking this freestyle run lightly. I think he knows that the overall event championship is in his sights, and all he has to do is, finish this run with a great wow factor. I think he's got it.
It is well within his reaches as Todd LeDuc stumbled at the finish, and not a typical Todd LeDuc in Monster Energy Night and freestyle, so the door is wide open. Can Avenger drive right through it? Here comes some big air. This is Mr. Excitement, the captain of Team Scream Racing. That's what he's known for, and all he's got to do is keep doing that to try and get this win for the overall event championship. More big air, and on the sidewalls is Avenger. Look at the donut. That is a cyclone.
Oh, that's the perfect wow factor. Even though he rolled it over, I think that's going to solidify him having a great freestyle score.
A truly incredible run should clearly be enough for the overall event championship. But will the fans give him the score to overtake Becky for the freestyle championship as well? And there you have it, a score of 9.399. Puts him in 2nd place in freestyle, but gives Jim Kohler the overall event championship. Now let's go to our pit reporter, Taylor Mock, with our freestyle winner.
Absolutely incredible night for you, Becky McDonough, El Toro Loco. Congratulations on an incredible freestyle win.
Thank you, Anaheim. You guys have been amazing. This is the perfect start to a great year. I couldn't imagine coming out on top tonight, especially for not really being in the groove of things, but here we are. We definitely needed these points to start the year off right. Thanks to Big A, my crew guy here. He's keeping that truck ready to rock for me every single week.
3 events, 3 different winners, but at the end of the night, congratulations to Jim Kohler and Avenger for taking the Great Clip Skills Challenge en route to the event championship. That's going to do it for us here in Anaheim. For Bari Musauer, Leslie Mears, Taylor Mock, and Keith Jones, I'm Scott Jordan. Thanks for watching Monster Jam.